We are in the middle of a loneliness pandemic. I bet you've heard these words before. I did a lot and I believed them because I'm not constantly surrounded by 100 people like I was in my formative years. And it's a bit strange that I was even romanticizing these years. I hated my time in school. My teenage years were genuinely the loneliest I'll ever be, and I can stand on that. So, why was I imagining that I need to recreate that experience in my social life? Let's define loneliness. According to Psychology Today, loneliness is a state of distress or discomfort that comes from a perceived gap between the social connections that you desire and those that you actually experience. Oakley 2010 is a study that was published under behavioral medicine, and it was mostly about how and why loneliness matters. The authors in that study defined loneliness as perceived social isolation. I was especially intrigued by the repeated appearance of the word perceived because to me this just meant that there is little to no objectivity when it comes to loneliness. It's all about your perception. And as we all know by now, perception can be influenced by a number of random things, including the headlines that hit you whenever you open your browser, or even the titles being used on YouTube. The first step in my quest to refute the idea that I am in any way affected by this so-called loneliness pandemic was to examine my social interactions, especially in the recent past. Towards the end of my 20s, I did have a phase where I want to say outgoing, but that is not the word. I was going out a lot to clubs and parties basically. But then that phase ended shortly before the pandemic. And since then, I barely go clubbing or partying because I'm not as comfortable within those scenes. I still go out because I love a good live music session. And some of my people are still into the clubbing scene, but it has become more of a once in a while indulgence for me. Now I prefer dinner dates in nice restaurants, lunches at home, hikes, and out of town trips when life allows it. So, am I actually lonely? As an introvert, I do not expect to be heard in a room full of people, so I like my gatherings small, like just me and you, if possible. We can have a third person or even a fourth one, but the more the people, the less I will engage. It just is what it is. With that in mind, I have at one point or another perceived my level of social interactions to be inadequate. I have created plans to remedy this by paying for a gym membership, going to work at a coffee shop every so often, and generally being more of a people person than I'd like to be. But also, in my experience, these strategies never work. Every time I have gone out of my way to be more social, I ended up regretting it. And I eventually decided that the universe was clearly unhappy with my performative attempts to fix something that is not broken. I am not isolated. I have not been isolated at any point in my adulthood. If anything, my social life is pretty good. Now, could I do a better job of keeping in touch with my people? Definitely. Will I? I keep saying yes to this, but the actual improvements remain to be seen. We talk when we talk, we show up when we're needed, and the love is a constant. I don't know what more to say about that. So, if at any given point in the recent past the internet have made you think you are lonely, let me tell you why you're probably not. First, the average person can only sustain 3 to 4 intimate relationships in their lifetime. This means that aside from your 3 to 4 closest people, everyone else that you engage can only be a good friend, not a close friend. And maybe that's just fine. You don't have to have the time to meet or talk to everyone that you consider a friend. We're busy. Second, not everyone needs to be the life of the party every month. Most of us thrive with regular hangouts with a few people every so often. It can even be once every few months. You are the expert in determining how much social interaction will keep you in a healthy state of mind. And it's not even about the frequency. The quality of your social interactions is way more important here. Do you have genuine connections? Are the people you're spending time with good for you? Is it a more relaxing experience? Am I stressful? Never work your nerves into a bunch, hosting a group of people that you don't care for. Like that is so unnecessary. Third, more people crave seclusion and are more successful at keeping fewer friends. Like, it is not that deep. I think at one point or another, we convinced ourselves that having a lot of friends is somehow aspirational and a goal to be attempted. But if you're introverted, it is unlikely that you will even sustain these friendships. I don't know an introvert that hasn't attempted to fix their introversion by making lots of friends and then failed to keep up because they don't always respond to texts on time. So it is more likely that you will only maintain the friendships that thrive on rich interactions at set intervals throughout the year, instead of the continuous engagements that we see on TV shows where friends essentially live together. We are not roommates, babe. We will see each other when life allows it. And this does not mean that you can get away with never making an effort. No. The fact that we are all adults means that you have to schedule meetups. Once you commit to a friendship, it is up to you to ensure that you show up for that friendship. You lose friends by being flaky because we just don't have time for that shit anymore. Either we're friends or we're not. Otherwise, if you still think you're lonely, then damn, maybe you really are. Probably, babe. I think social media is a great place to make friends, but rarely through the DMs. You make friends in the comment sections, and then that can move to the DMs and you'll get comfortable talking to each other. At least that's how I've always done it, and so far, so good. The thing is, loneliness is not a good thing. If you're genuinely feeling isolated, it is up to you to build the bridges that get your people to you. Make the effort to engage the kind of people that you like, and then make the effort to sustain those relationships once you get them. Most of the time, you not having friends is a symptom of your choices, whether conscious or not. So, a good way to fix it is by being more conscious of the choices that you make when it comes to social interactions. Did you reach out and talk to that person? Did you pick or return their call when they reached out to you? Did you schedule a meetup or even a video call just to catch up or hang out? Did you check up on them when they popped up in your mind? You have the capacity to maintain the relationships that you want in your life, so why are you not doing it? Maybe I know why. Social anxiety is a real thing, but you can't let it keep you isolated. The thing is, you will get comfortable with your close friends and you will stop overthinking your interactions with them. But you cannot get close friends unless you allow yourself the discomfort of making friends. And luckily for you, you can do that online without ever having to leave your house. So again, what really is your excuse? Hi, this was another episode of Between Me and the Ink, and last I checked, my name was still Faye. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. And to my returning audience, you are the real MVPs. Thank you for all the support. I hope the new week finds many, many ways to bring you joy. Stay safe, okay? Bye.